Well, hi, everybody. Happy Tuesday evening. We are, as always, so happy to have those of you who are returning guests. Thanks for joining us. And if you're new, a double welcome. We're happy to have you with us. So my name's Tracey Flintoff, and I'm coming to you from the Seattle, Washington area. Actually, I'm in Olympia today at a beautiful beach house looking at Mount Rainier in the sunshine. It doesn't get better than this. Pretty great. And my awesome co-hosts in this, Cami Bretko. Say hi, Cami. And Joy.
Oh, hey, welcome.
And Joy
Glad
is in Maui, and Cami is just up the street from me here in Kent. But we're going to get started with sharing with you something that's really changed our lives. And we feel pretty excited about it and think it's just too good to not share. And we're talking about age reversal technology and regeneration of the body using a natural modality that you probably know very little about, but I'll tell you, you use it every day. So we're going to talk about light, the power of light, and the ability of light to heal, regenerate, and repair the body. So I'll go ahead and share my screen with you. And what we're talking about tonight is a wearable light technology. It is created by a company out of San Diego called LifeWave, and their flagship product, X39, which we'll be sharing as we go throughout a little more in detail, but completely life-changing stuff. But before we really get into this, I want to go back in time, and I want to talk a little history, because we had some pretty smart fellows way back when, and they were experts in their field. And you might have heard of a fellow named Albert Einstein. And he said the future of medicine is frequency. And if you think about frequency, that is light, that's sound, that's a radio wave, that's a microwave. Those are frequencies. And that's what we're talking about tonight. And then Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb, comes along and says the doctor of the future will give no pills. And they're really going to focus on what is ailing the body and help prevent whatever that might be, if it's disease or an issue. So these two guys are pretty profound. So that's history, talking about this modality we're going to share tonight. But fast forward to modern day and look at all these applications of light, an infrared sauna, MRIs, laser lights, powerful, making change in the body using light. So what we're talking about is taking this evolutionary theory to the next and ultimate step, and that is a wearable light technology. But before we really dive in here, we want to have a disclaimer that what we're talking about tonight is a holistic wellness product. That is how it's classified with the FDA. And we are not medical professionals, and we're not going to be diagnosing or treating any medical conditions today. We always encourage you to consult with your doctor on whatever it might be that you're dealing with. The information that Cami, Joy, and I are sharing tonight is purely for informational purposes. And at the end, we're going to have a Q&A session, and we can help answer some questions. But just keep in mind, this is information for you. So you might be familiar with the term of stem cells. You hear a lot about that in the media lately. And they are our body's repair cells. And they really are how our bodies are formed in utero. It's one singular stem cell that divides and divides and divides and becomes the body, the person that we are. But the reality is, when we're born, we are full of them. And that's why babies are insulated from a lot of deep sicknesses and diseases. They have lots of stem cells. They don't get those things. When we're kids, we fall down, we bump our knee. It repairs really quickly. But as we age, we lose those stem cells, and then we start to see an uptick in issues in our body. So the fewer stem cells you have, the faster you age and the slower we heal. When you're age 35, you've lost half of your stem cells. That's a little shocking to me. 35, I thought I was just really getting going, but I didn't know I was in Mother Nature's bell curve optimum peak, right? But when you're 60, we've lost about 90%. If you're 80, you've got about 2% of those stem cells still working and preventing for you. So we are here to share a new way that you can hopefully avoid these yucky, mean needles. Up until recent, the real only way that you could have got these stem cells back into your body is an injection of somebody else's DNA. And here's the reality. The best stem cells are not available to us in America any longer. Those are reserved for other countries. So you are forced to go down to Panama, Germany, Greece. You're going somewhere else. It's expensive. Tony Robbins recently went to Panama and got an injection in his shoulder for $35,000. That'll last him about 5 years if it works. They don't always work because, again, it's not your own DNA and the body doesn't always love foreign things we put in it. But a couple other options in the US is you can get a PRP injection. That's your own stem cells harvested from your bone marrow, spun and re-injected. Those, again, are your old stem cells. But what we're going to talk about tonight is the best of all of them, and it's non-invasive, no needles required. And what we're talking about is a process very similar to when we go in the sunlight. And when we go in that sunlight, it is triggering our body, sending a signal to tell our body to make vitamin D3. You might be familiar with that. It also is the basis of photosynthesis, a seed and water and light and creates plants, right? So light is very powerful. And so what we're talking about tonight is a wearable, patented patch. And when you put this on your body, it raises a peptide in your body called GHK copper peptide. You might remember many years ago, people wearing copper bracelets. It was this peptide discovery about 50 years ago that really set the world on fire about regenerative medicine. The reality is the bracelet is just not enough to do it, but this patch, game changer. This is body heat activated. You can see what that patch looks like right there. It is reflecting our own low-level infrared light back into the body, and that is activating peptides and systems in our body back to a more youthful state. So we wear these patches 12 hours on and 12 hours off. When they're initially on, we are activating and repairing. Then we give the body 12 hours of rest. So really what we're doing is we're mimicking the circadian rhythm of day and night, 12 hours on, 12 hours off. Does it have to be exactly 12 hours? No, that's the beautiful thing, because I am truly not set by any clock, I'll tell you. But that's a really good rough gauge, 11, 13, 14, somewhere in there. We want to drink a lot of water, and that's really critical for good health, whether you're wearing patches or not. Water is critical to good health. And when we're making new cells, as these patches enable our bodies to do, we need even more water. So if you're a good water drinker now, up your intake. If you're not a good water drinker now, up your intake. Just water. Go for water. What we're talking about is a patented phototherapy system. And these are points on the body. This on the left, you can see some quadrants. Where we place these patches on the body is really based on acupressure and acupuncture points. So we have meridians of energy. There's energy flow in the body. And the Chinese medicine folks have known about this for thousands of years and very astute. And they understand that blocked energy in the body creates pain or dysfunction or disease. So when we unblock those blockages, we get a good flow of energy. So these patches in concept are really very similar to what acupuncture is doing for the body, moving that energy. You can see here when she's wearing this on the back of her neck, that's our number one placement for a lot of these patches is C7. That's your number one blood flow between your brain and then down to the lower extremities of your body. But this company is quite unique because it is the only phototherapy product in the world that is using the human body as the power source. So just think of the human body as the battery. No wires attached, don't have to plug in, no measurements, nothing like that. But when you are utilizing the patch, you're activating your own repair cells. So when you activate them, some pretty fantastic things are happening in the body. We often notice rapid pain relief. We see reduction in inflammation. Inflammation can be swelling and heat. That's never a great thing in our body. The less inflammation we have, the healthier, the better we are. We're supporting wound healing, energy, skin, exercise recovery, sports performance. What I love the most, though, is I don't have to ask anybody what drugs they're on, what supplements they might be taking, because we don't have to worry. There's nothing entering the body These are non-transdermal patches, so very different than a nicotine patch or an estrogen patch that is putting chemicals in the body. Because with that type of patch, there are side effects, and you would have to be concerned about what somebody's using. With this, it's a reflection of light. So, like I mentioned, going out in the sunshine, or a jaundiced baby whose liver hasn't yet been turned on after birth. How do we help that baby? We put him in the light. That light signals the liver to turn on. So, same concept as with these patches. But this company is privately held. They have over 100 US patents and pretty fantastic. This is always my favorite part of the evening, and that's our testimonials. And I believe we have got, I believe Gita, it's your brother-in-law available to share. Can he unmute? I'm hoping Gita's on here. I know one of her 2 testimonials tonight was not able to make it, but
I don't see anybody on the call
I'm
named
not seeing her. Okay. All righty. Do we have anybody who would like to share their testimony tonight? Let's see. Joyce, are you perhaps up to unmuting yourself? And
I can share too.
or Cami, how about that? Cami, you want to go ahead?
Absolutely.
Tracey, I can, oh, if you want,
Yeah, go ahead, Joyce, and then
can you hear me? Okay, I just took that light off in the
can we
background.
see you? We've got to unpin.
Okay.
There you are. Hello,
Yeah.
love.
Hi.
Hi, my dear. We always
Hello.
love hearing your story. And if you wouldn't mind sharing with everybody how you got going on these and what have you noticed these doing for you? And I
Yeah,
know you have a dog that has a pretty famous story
yeah.
too.
I'm probably known more for my Lucy story than my Joyce story, but
Yeah.
we were given 5X39. Didn't know what they were. Marilyn, my sister, was out training 2 sisters, Linda and Kathy, and gave us 5 patches, and they sat on like a lot of people sat on the coffee table for maybe a week, maybe 2, I'm not sure. And I just felt like the Lord prompted me to look at them, like pay attention, go into that, go look at that, you're going to be involved in that. So, and I didn't know what they were yet, but once we read on it, Marilyn says, hey, because I suffered with eczema on my elbows, scratching, like almost raw red. And I was always a good sleeper, but so that was really, I really didn't have too many other issues. But the thing is I just couldn't get rid of the eczema on my back, on my elbows. I had it really bad. I was crazy on my foot, on my left foot. And anyway, it just was really bad. So Marilyn says, why don't you put it on your elbows and let's see what that does? Well, overnight, it just was crazy. I put it above where the raw red was. I was itching so bad all the time. And it by the next morning, it was half gone. We couldn't believe it. It was almost healed up, but it was kind of pink. We were both flabbergasted. And so the next night I put it on again, not knowing really you want to wear X39 during the day. Learned a lot in the last 3 years. But and then it was, I'd have to say it was like baby flesh. It was just a light, soft pink in 2 days, something I'd been suffering from for years and years. I had cancer in 2014, and it just seemed it really took a toll on my whole body. And I was suffering with it. Not, I wouldn't call it suffering, but it was just annoying itching. So that we were sold. And then I started putting it on my cowboy brothers, and amazing lifelong twitches in my brother. He was dancing around. He couldn't believe it. His hip issue was gone. He got in a horse accident at one time. A horse bucked him off, and he had a broken, the vet said, the vet, the doctor said it was the vet. Oh, he does go to a doctor. Yeah. But his vet said that it was just a bad crack in it, but he just thought for sure. That healed him up, and he was back on that horse riding just like within a week. And if I think if it was broken, it would have been a lot worse, but it was way up by his femur. So we've just been amazed. The stories can go on and on, but I think the biggest thing was Lucy, my dog. When I adopted her, she had some stomach issues. I took her in, they couldn't find anything, but they said what we do see is severe arthritis through her spine. And I thought, no wonder she can't jump up on the bed. So I started putting my old patches underneath her collar. There she is right there. My little Lucy.
Hi,
Yeah.
Lucy Lou. Hi,
Yeah.
Lucy.
Yeah. So I started putting them under her collar. And within 6 months, I could tell she was jumping up on the bed better, jumping up on the couch. And in that meantime, she got cancer. And I don't know if you have the pictures, and if you want to put them in chat, that's fine. But another big thing, besides the arthritis being absolutely gone because more x-rays were taken, arthritis doesn't get better just on its own. It can only get worse. But the other vet took a picture because she ended up with cancer too. And I'll tell you the story real quick, but gone. No arthritis through her spine, none. It was completely gone. And the tumors, when we moved to Arizona, she ended up with oozing tumors out of her little vulva. And they were red inside. It was bright red, almost bloody. I put an Eon on one side and an X39 on the other side. And by the next morning, those big tumors I thought they were big on Lucy, were shriveled up to almost nothing. And the vet couldn't believe. I said, here's what it looked like last night. Here's what it looks like as I stand before you. I don't think she believed me that it ended up one of them being a mast cell tumor, and we had it removed. But the miraculous thing was how it shrunk up overnight. So I'm finding the pets, our animals, are very responsive to our used patches. Take your old patches off, put them on your animals. I've got horse stories too, but I don't want to take any more time. So, but that's a little bit about me and about Lucy, and I will forever be on the patches.
Thank you, Joyce.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Cami, did you have anybody?
Sure.
Did you wanna share?
I will love to share. I'll super briefly. Tracey shared these patches with me in a the most difficult season of my life. So I've been a healthy person and making positive changes. And when about a month prior to these patches finding me, my best friend in the world had a major heart attack at the gym. And he was a chiropractor, and he and I both aligned very much in our ways of natural healing and having the body heal itself. And so when his heart attack happened, and no one came to his aid for a very long time. He had a severe anoxic brain injury. It damaged organs in his body from the lack of oxygen. And so it shoved him from being very much in a natural healing situation to 24/7 care and incapacitated in the hospital. Needless to say, that shook my world. It rocked my world. And during this crazy, stressful season, all of my healthy habits kind of went out the window, and my stress, of course, up like crazy. And so when these patches got introduced to me, of course, I was putting them on him first, but I was being very careful. I was kind of sneaking them on him, knowing that that's exactly what he would have done, because he's about natural solutions and helping the body heal itself. And I was taking the wrappers from the backings and tucking them in my bag. And then when he was done wearing the patches, I would peel them off and I'm like, well, shoot, it's not transdermal. I'll just wear it out of the hospital under my clothing. And then I'm like, well, shoot, if I've worn it this far, I might just as well finish wearing it and see if there's anything good that comes out of it. And so that's how the first month or two happened until I was able, his sister and I were able to start buying him his own patches. But this truly helped him. By the time he left the hospital, there was no anoxic injury to his internal organs anymore. His brain was functioning better. They would never authorize another brain scan, but we knew that it was doing better. But anyways, it was a long struggle for him being stuck in a very medical world. But these patches continue to help him and give him a better quality of life and reduce infections and things. And then for me, my immune system was incredibly protected in 18 months of the most stressful season of my life. I never got sick. It didn't happen. And so I've had the honor of meeting a bunch of amazing people and really truly, like Dr. Harmon here, and really truly carry on Alan's legacy of helping people heal, giving their bodies what they need to heal itself, and continue the legacy of helping people, mind, body, and soul, be as healthy as they can be. So, including helping Alan's dad. He's using the patches for his cognition and for his mobility and things, and he's doing absolutely amazing. To see this picture of his birthday party announcement, turning 90, and that was 2 years older than this is him at his birthday party. And you can just see he looks younger. Now he's gonna go out for the Mr. Farmer America award pageant. So that's what he's gonna win. But you can see the age spots and everything. So we are on a mission to help people heal naturally, and I can't stop. I can't. This is my purpose and my mission.
It's a pretty great one. And for those of
Yeah,
you
it's
who've
an
never
honor.
used a patch, I just thought maybe you'd like to see what they look like. So it's just paper thin. It kind of looks like a Band-Aid. Joy will tell you, oh, those are just Band-Aids. For the 6 weeks, she wouldn't wear them when I kept trying to give them to her. But they have a little backing and it tells you what patch it is. And life-changing, this little thing right here. Saved my mom's life. That's another story, another day. But we'll go back and now we're going to be able to show you because the FDA, this company has to be compliant and careful in the things that we share and what we say. But here's a cool thing. We can show you pictures of people. By the way, we have a health tracker, and I think someone will put that in the chat. We didn't have this when we got started and back in the olden days. And had I had that, I would have written down that I had a bunion that needed surgery because about 9 months in of me wearing these, I discovered my bunion was gone. I didn't need the surgery and my feet are identical. I'd had a bunion removed on the right foot many years prior, swore I'd never do it again. It hurts so bad. But life-changing. These originally were developed for the U.S. Navy SEALs down in San Diego 20 years ago. This company's 20 years old this year. And from there, they got in the hands of some pretty amazing athletes, and we think of as superhuman, but guess what? They have their strength from a little Band-Aid looking thing. So here's Michael Phelps, Serena and Venus Williams. But in 2019, history really was changed in natural modality products with this X39. First time ever that we can activate our own repair cells. That is a big deal. This is a timeline. The first few days that you use them, talk about whispering of animals. There's animal whisperer. This is a gene whisperer. About 4,000 of your genes get reset in about the first 24 hours. 1 to 3 months, we start seeing some physical, mental, emotional changes happening. It's really about month 3 to 6-ish that we start to see real repair beginning. And a lot of that depends on what you have going, genetics, age, stress, diet. Um, Everybody's different, but this is generalized. The longer you wear them, the longer your age reversal impact is on your body through them. And tonight we might be sharing a little bit of information, and you might think, gosh, what did they say? I wish I could remember. Or I have a friend I want to share this with. We have a fantastic website our friend Marcy Preble, who you'll see in a minute, has put together to make it very easy for you to share this with anywhere in the world. This company out of San Diego ships these to 81 countries around the world, if you can imagine. They have some pretty fantastic science information on patents, information on 90 clinical studies done all around the world. But my favorite personal is this age reversal tab. And when you go in and you look, it's going to tell you about what these do for lung protection, what this does for anti-fast growing cells. The last bullet point I love here, resetting 84 genes to inhibit fast growing cells. Who doesn't want that? It just goes on and on. They also did a cardiovascular study with participants, and they had them wearing the X39 for 6 weeks. And what they found on average was those participants lowered their cardiovascular age by about 8 weeks on average. So if you do the math on that, for every day you wear it, your heart is about a day and a third younger. That is pretty fantastic. There's really nothing out there that does that kind of stuff. They did a study on brain health. This I love. And these participants in session 1, this is their baseline. So we see orange and red, that's heat, that's inflammation in the brain, that's putting pressure on blood flow and cognition. And this particular woman was 77 years old. And in her first session, that is session 2 there, that's 3 weeks of her wearing the X39, that hot brain becomes a cold brain. The body is very smart and it knows what to do and how to adjust itself. So another 3 weeks in, the conclusion of that study, so a total of 6 weeks is session 3. That is a perfectly balanced brain, 80% on one side, 20%. That's called the coherence. And you see the reduced inflammation that really helps with memory and focus and just a better life all the way around. Who doesn't want that? But I mentioned we can show you some things. You can see here what accelerated repair does in just a few days after snowboard crash. The bottom here is an open heart surgery scar. The middle image is after 1 year. The far right image is impressive to me because that is after 1 month of X39. This is showing you the difference between age reversal and anti-aging. And you hear a lot in the media about anti-aging. That is stopping your body from aging where you are today. What we're talking about is far, far better than that. We're talking about going back. Remember how much hair you had, how smooth your skin was when you're 20, 25, 30? That's what we're talking about. And you can see Dr. Harmon here, the fellow that Cami showed you the picture, very smart brain doctor, wrote a book on this stuff. This is him after 14 months. So if it was, anti-aging, he'd still look like Grandpa Dude. Thankfully, it's age reversal because I always call him, Mr. Hottie here. And then this lady here starts out looking like grandma and progressively gets younger. She looks like, the granddaughter now. This is showing you some skin repair. So as we bring back collagen, hyaluronic acid is tightening. I didn't know we had that in our body. I honestly thought you bought that at Macy's cosmetic counter, but it can come back. Collagen can help fill in. It's that cushioning that insulates the veins. And then this fellow here had a complete recontouring of the colorization on his face. That's pretty fabulous. We hear a lot of people that say, wow, my level of sleep is so much better. I'm sleeping deeper and longer. That is a byproduct of this amazing patch. Hormone regulation. This is hormonal induced acne. This lady is 6 weeks later, 5 weeks of change here for this guy's hair. Spine pain, health issues with the spine. We see amazing things in people. Bulging discs here on the far left. That indentation on that degenerative spinal cord is that pain point. And the actual bulging disc is that black little button looking thing between the C7 and the T1. You can see it pushing in. This is the same patient a few months later, completely regenerated spinal cord, that bulging disc no longer putting pressure. That is a person not living in pain. They are probably back to jogging, skiing, taking out the garbage, all the excuses they used to have, gone because of a little Band-Aid. Pretty great. This lady's spine corrected. And this is our friend, Marcy. And she was dealing with, she thought the end of her life before these came to her. She was stage 3 and 3 different kinds of fast growing cells. And she was told that the skin cancer one would be the one that would absolutely take her out because it never goes in remission. The lymph and the breast cancer could be addressed, the doctors felt, but the skin wouldn't. Well, guess what? We actually are 4 years in now for her, almost going on 5, I believe. And look how beautiful she is. She just gets better and better with time. She's in remission on all of those. This lady, a friend, luckily shared this with her after she'd gone through some radiation on her face. I think she was not living her best life and not feeling so great. But you can see how very quickly the inflammation, that redness, that swelling is going down. And look at her here in 3 weeks. That is a changed life. Not to mention what's happening on the inside. We can only see the outside, but there's some really beautiful things on the inside too. These are some changes. Last week, Joy and I did a deep dive on autoimmune, which are toxin-based issues in the body, but psoriasis, Bell's palsy, these things here, you can see some results some folks have had with those. These are autoimmune skin repair here. Vitiligo, look at that. This is the same person after a year. And Cami and I kept debating. I was like, no, that cannot be the same guy. But yeah, it is. And then this is a friend of Cami's who'd been dealing with these fast growing cells on his face for, what was it, 15 years? I think you said, Cami. And look at him.
Yeah, it was 15 years and 20 surgeries.
Wow, 20 surgeries?
Yeah, he was done having his face cut on. And so he was super thankful. And these 2 spots on his nose and his forehead were very stubborn about going away, and all the treatments that he had tried. And I just talked to him last week, and he said the one on his nose is absolutely gone. So
Wow.
3
Yay.
months of being in there gone.
Fantastic. Amazing. I love these stories. And what I love is, like Joyce mentioned, these aren't just for us humans, but these are for our fur babies too. And they've been using these on racehorses. They're out to pasture with an injured ligament or tendon. And the horse trainers started putting their own patches on these animals and realizing how much better they started feeling, how much quicker they were recovering. So a lot of us have shared that news. And this is my friend's dog, Brutus, who had gone blind from diabetes. And he had a white frosty eye with no pupil. And I said, you know what, Terry? Put those use patches on his collar on the inside. I hear of, dogs that had arthritis act like puppies. They want to chase the stick or the ball and they just get better and better. And lo and behold, she called me a week later and she said, you're not going to believe this. Brutus is walking around the house again and following me everywhere. He sees. We both cried. We just couldn't believe it. We were so happy. Such an exciting change. But I like to say these are really better than Botox. And we can use combinations of these patches to address many different things in the body. So this is just kind of giving you examples of what these can be combined to assist with. This is somebody with some severe bone-on-bone pain in the knee, utilizing a combination of these to help regenerate that cartilage. They are using some collagen and vitamins and good quality food and good water. Can't be stressed enough. You've got to give your body the building blocks. But I'm going to turn it over now to Cami, and she's going to share with you just a high level on these patches. And then Joy is going to, for those people who want to stay on after Cami's section, we'll do a deeper dive into the gut health too. Okay, Cami.
Fantastic. Okay. So yeah. So how to get these patches? Obviously, somebody brought you here or invited you to come listen about the patches because they care. And this is not something you can just walk up and on the shelf at the store and understand enough of what it is to be able to go, oh, I'm going. So that's why, you know, you have to hear about this from a, and so we're honored to share that this amazing technology. If I'm so thankful for Tracey, to be so persistent in getting these patches to me, from her. So our X39 and X49 patches, are our stem cell activation patches, or our repair cell activation patches. They both cause our body to make a copper peptide. Now, the X39 is the one patch that we refer everybody to, and that one gets your pluripotent repair cells, those ones that can become anything your body needs. And then the X49 causes your body to make AHK, copper peptide. And that does a myriad of wonderful things, including great for muscle mass. It's great for your metabolism, EMF production. It's great for your bone density. It's also great for your heart and your brain. Eon is the one that we always recommend that you pair with X39. You will get results faster, typically, and you'll enjoy perhaps less pain and inflammation. The Eon causes your body to make anti-inflammatory. And again, remember, this is all photosynthesis or photobiomodulation. Each of these patches reflect body light at a different frequency. So you're not adding any chemistry to your body. You're just giving your body a signal to do different things. So I can't emphasize that enough, because we're all about helping people's bodies do the work that they were intended to do. So Eon reduces inflammation. Well, guess what? That's the beginning. That's the source of disease. That's the source of, that's how causes inflammation. So if we can dial that down, more of those repair cells can actually go in and fix problems. So that's tremendous. IceWave is a two-system, second patching system that came out. And when you find the right placement of those two patches, it literally blocks the message of the pain going to the brain. So when you find the barking nerves and you find those two patches of where they should go, it definitely is a wonderful assist in a drug-free life. Carnosine is an antioxidant that is really support for brain and your heart. Glutathione is body's major antioxidant, and it opens up pathways in your lipid detox. And I'm sure I will be telling us about that in the next section. What do we have next, Trace? Oh, there we go. Energy Enhancer is the original granddaddy of them all. Again, it's a two-patch system telling your mitochondria to burn as fuel, and that represents energy. You can burn an extra 300 to 600 calories, and that's time improved with our U.S. Elite and other athletes and our and all the things. SP6 reduces cravings and helps your hormones balance. It's a really powerful patch. And silent nights activate melatonin. So if you're looking for your own melatonin to be activated, that is a tremendous patch. The Alavita does also activate melatonin, but it does so many more things. Reduces oxidative stress. It elongates your telomeres. We can have a whole conversation about how that is reverse aging. It helps your collagen, cartilage, helps the frontal lobe of your brain, and beautiful skin. So it is incredible. And I don't know if any of you are into skincare, fantastic, amazing skincare, but these, their day cream and their night cream are created, formulated with our scientists and the top scientists of Estee Lauder got together with this formula that David Schmidt had a long list of all natural care to do for the skin. And it's a crazy deal. So 2 aloe vera patches, a day cream and a night cream for $149. It's pretty unreal. So how do we get these? You could purchase them retail. Please purchase them retail from one of us or the person who I'm the person who invited you here. We would hate for you to go out on the market and purchase retail if or purchase from somebody who's not representing LifeWave properly. Our support patches are our support patches are $79.95 retail. Our activation cell patch X39 and X49 are $149 retail. We love to help people get wholesale pricing, which means $99 30-day supply of the stem cell activation patches, or a as low as $49.95. And you get the wholesale pricing by purchasing a wholesale kit. So the silver kit is perfect for one person, and we can help you build that pack. We will get with the person who invited you and listen to your concerns and your desires and help you build that pack. That's a one-time cost. A gold kit is great for 2 people. A diamond kit is great if you're a practitioner of natural healing modalities, or you just have a really big family or friends really interested in trying this modality also. So this is where we would invite you to get back to the person who invited you to have a conversation about how to get this technology in your hands. And then we are here for questions. But before we do that, we would love to invite you to stay on if you want to, because Joy will be sharing about gut regeneration and help us with understand how these patches and other information about how our gut health really does operate our bodies. So this is a wonderful way, just like this is a sharing modality. This is a way that I would have never heard about it if Tracey didn't share it with me. This company is one of those where we have to spread the word. But a cool thing is we get a little thank you check when we do share, and it's just people helping more people. And we did just win an award for being the fastest growing network marketing company in the United States, I think. So pretty amazing company to be involved with. So we'd invite you to continue the conversation and ask us questions, or yeah, we will stay on and enjoy hearing from Miss Joy.
Thank you, Cami.